I mean, there's some fires that were really good, and there were some close calls with some snags. And like I said, I was a sawyer. I did some what we call a hot saw thing. That was pretty cool. We're cutting line and we're falling trees away from the fire, and then all of a sudden the tree would catch on fire, and I'd go up higher and make another cut the opposite way, and we'd push it back into the fire, and we'd go and we'd try to do that. And we did that for a while on this Idaho fire, and that worked out pretty cool. I'll just kind of jump back to the Dude fire. We were sitting there, we'd burned out because it was like we needed to have a safety zone, and there was no safety zone at the time. And we'd got that done, and things were kind of calming down, and we were kind of using mop-up and stuff a little bit on the line to kind of, hold it. And I can remember sitting down and pulling out a sandwich, and usually a sandwich is like kind of moist and, like, oh man, this thing's too moist. And by the time I got it to my mouth, it was so dry that I had to have water to eat it. That's how hot it was on that fire. And it was like, man, it is really, the moisture is just getting sucked out of the thing. So it was like, uh-oh, we got to really be paying attention to what was going on. And then all of a sudden I felt these raindrops on my, coming down. I'm going, oh shoot, we got a cell over. So it was like we just, we sent the word up and down the line, for people to really be heads up about what's happening. And of course, then it wasn't too much longer after that the thing burned over and caught those people and killed them. But I mean, those things about Paul is what I probably learned the most about him, is the studying of the fire behavior and knowing what was happening around you so that you could react and be safe and doing your job, the way you should be doing it without getting hurt. So, yeah, I think as far as that part of Gleason, I really enjoyed. Some of the other stuff, the power hiking, doing the rams, and stuff like that, that was a little kind of, I don't know, but I guess that's just part of, crew life. When you live on a crew, you always want to try to be physically in the best shape that you can. So, like anybody, we have our strong points and we have our weak, scenarios. And I've had, I'm sure I had my weak moments when I was out there doing my job as the, because later on I became the assistant under Paul in '89 and '90. And so, but I think as far as fire behavior and really knowing what the fire is actually doing around your, was really a very learning experience for me.